Okay, so there is another case when you are taking square roots. You might have the square root of a number that is not a perfect square, that doesn't show up on your list of perfect squares. So if you look at we'll just do number 9 on your notes page, okay? 72, if you look through your list, let me pull that list back out. If you look through this list, okay, we go 36, 49, 64, then up to 81. So 72 got skipped. So that means 72 is not a perfect square. So we've got to talk about what are our steps to take the square root of a number that is not a perfect square. Okay, well, what you're going to do is first determine the largest perfect square that goes into this radicand. The radicand's the number underneath. The radicand evenly. Okay, so I'm going to try to get all of this onto one screen here as best I can. I've got to go through this list and find the biggest one, and that's a key word there, largest. Cannot stress that enough, okay? The largest perfect square that goes into 72. So if I'm trying to figure this one out, I'm actually just going to work it right here on this paper. That way I can zoom in a little bit more. Okay, if I'm trying to simplify or take the square root of 72, I cannot take the square root of 72 and get a whole number. So I've got to simplify it. Okay, I'm going to break it down. First thing I've got to find is the largest perfect square that goes into 72 evenly. So I find the closest perfect square without going over, 64. And I start dividing, okay? So I'm going to do 72 divided by 64. And I look to see, does it give me a whole number? No, it doesn't. So I'm going to move down, 72 divided by, now I'm going to try 49. Still not a whole number. So 72 divided by 36. Ah, that's a whole number. So that's how I'm going to break this 72 down into 36 times 2. So I'm going to come over here. The perfect square that goes into it is 36. And then the other number, the answer when I did the division was 2. Okay, after that, you're going to take the square root of the perfect square. So I'm going to take the square root of this piece. And again, here's that answer right here. Okay, it's positive or negative 6. And I'm going to leave the leftovers. That's what it's talking about here. Leave the leftover under the radical symbol. So that's the leftover because notice I can't take the square root of 2 and get a whole number. So I'm going to leave the leftover under the radical sign. And that's my answer.